Apprentice here. It has been a little bit. Well, it has been a little bit if you see me on other platforms, but nonetheless, I am here just checking in because I haven't been on YouTube live in a moment and just want to say what's up as I install my filter. Right, so a lot of things has happened. I'm missing a lot of comments that were been pretty weird. So people are thinking that because I share what I share on the channel that I got unalived. That's why I've heard that. I've heard a lot of different things. So I am jumping on live out of boredom. Not necessarily, not really out of boredom, but I know a lot of people wonder what I'm up to and stuff like that. And I figured while I'm installing my filter, I can go ahead and be live. So I'm gonna give it a little bit, and then I'm gonna get jumping. But really, I've been transitioning, doing a lot of transition stuff. I've been moving. What is that? Oh, so I've been doing a lot of moving, trying to figure out where I was gonna live next, and so I know where I'm gonna be for the next year. And now that I know where I'm gonna be for the next year, that gives me the opportunity to sit down and really be able to plan out the next bits and pieces of content. So I know I'm not looking in the camera right now. I am looking for my piece, and I may not have it. But so yeah, I know where I'm going to be staying now, which is pretty cool. I got my place; it's all set up. Well, almost all set up. The last thing I'm missing is setting up my water. One of the last things. So just want to jump on. Very random, very impromptu. So I'm not expecting anyone to show up. Plus, it's the weekend. However, I got my faucet here. Oh man, that's kind of high. Actually, maybe I can do this. And maybe I can tilt it down. So as you can see, my live game is nowhere near as strong as my my produced content game, right? Let's get the sponge out of the way. But really quick, I wanted to install the system. And the reason why is because I feel like at minimum, everybody could get one of these. Oh, oh, that sounded horrible. Can I zoom out? Let me see. Nope, can't zoom out. I can put it right here though. I would say just about everybody could start off with one of those, right? And that is a filter from Multipure. That's the one that I recommend. I know a lot of people are on bottled water, especially if you're on this call. Or especially if you're subscribed to the channel, you found me mainly because of bottled water. And I've been sharing the truths about those and helping people get off of them. So, trying to find, what else do I got? How does it look back this way? Okay, so it looks weird now. You see the ceiling, but I have the screen tilted. But I want to share with you a lot of things that are about to be happening. That's going to be going on. Not a lot of things, but trying to figure out what to make content around now. And so I know people have complained or voiced their concerns in a negative way. I call it, I don't know, I feel like that's complaining, right? But they've been sharing that they want shorter reviews. Are like, ah, he does too much talking. He does too much talking. Let's just shorten the review. And so I'm going to actually take all the reviews I've done so far, which is actually about 100. And I know it's because I've been downloading them and looking at repurposing that content. It's about 100 pieces and turn them into shorts. So that way people just get the information they need. And right now I am actually about to connect this to the base, and I want to add some Teflon tape. So making some shorter content is coming up. And I'm going to spend a lot of time because I'm going to take a break from doing water reviews. I'm not going to lie. I started this journey curious to know what's going to happen. And the more bottled waters I looked at, the less curious I got. So after reviewing about 100 of them from all different kinds, so of course, if you don't go off of just a name, which is marketing, by the way, there's only so many different types of bottled water out there. You have reverse osmosis, distilled, volcanic, you have mineral water, you have spring water, you have ionized water, and everything else is just about, as far as bottled is concerned, everything is a reiteration of those, right? So purified is a mix of reverse osmosis and or distilled. Purified, they actually do either or, so it's just marketing, right? So when you think of purified, you think of clean, and clean does not always mean healthy. So after looking at 100 different bottled waters, I stopped looking at carbonate ones because those seem to be the worst. After looking at 100 of them, I got bored. I got tired of it. And people would ask, I would ask you guys, hey, let me know what water you want me to look at. And I would. But after a while, it started to get predictable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been watching each week as I was putting out videos, while the same test was coming up, I would get very similar results as well, regardless of what type of water I was testing for. Heck, even the hydrogen waters, the hydrogen bottled waters were doing the same thing. So they would be a little bit different because they would have the negative ORP, but then something else would happen. Either they would really be hydrogen infused water so this looks, that's what I've been doing, in case you're wondering. So it'd be hydrogen infused water with reverse osmosis, hydrogen infused reverse osmosis water, which would then be acidic, which wouldn't really do us any good, right? So we'd have that happening, or we have hydrogen infused water, and it would be not able to really hydrate us. Like, it'll still be big clusters of water. Like, the quality of the water was wrong, right? So it really didn't matter the type of bottled water. And then, of course, as I started learning about and researching more about bottled waters, you start to see different things, like all the microplastics that's in them, the forever chemicals, the carcinogens that lead to cancer in them, how we're going to have more plastic in the ocean than fish, all those kinds of things, and how that water is being taken. A lot of that water is being taken from indigenous people, from people who don't really have much water to begin with, and the little waters they have are being taken by these companies, taken from them, being resold back to them, and then being marked up because it's only like 5 cents, 3 to 5 cents a gallon, being marked up tremendously at 1,000 times, and being sold back to us, and we don't know any better. And I understand, because our tap water is horrible because of everything that we've been doing to our planet, and it goes right back into the drain. Our municipalities try to fix it up the best they can, and it still comes back to us horrible. So I understand. Let me see. Give me a second. So it makes sense. And people just want a bottle of water that works for them. And the challenge, though, is in the beginning of this journey, I would recommend bottled waters. People would try them, and then they would come back to me. Some would come back to me saying, oh my gosh, that helped tremendously. Thank you so much. And other people would come back saying, oh, this one made me worse, type of thing, right? And then it had me really looking at that bottled water, and then I would notice other things that was wrong that I didn't catch the first time. So, after doing all these bottled water tests, I was like, you know what? It's clear that everybody's paying for filtered water. So why not cut out the middleman, save ourselves the plastic, the back pain, the stress, the worry, because a lot of other things have been happening in the world, right? So We've been having things where people would run out of water in stores, things like that, and then they would just wouldn't have water because they would go to the stores and the shelves would be empty. So instead of having to go through all that stress, all that worry, why not just filter it yourself? And so I've been on a journey to find a filter that doesn't just say that's filtered by the website, but it's actually certified to remove what they say they're going to remove. Certified to actually remove microplastics, certified to remove cysts and chloroform and, of course, chlorine, microplastics, forever chemicals, all those kinds of things. And then the things you don't know that are in your water, right? And that is how I stumbled across, after some trial and error, how I stumbled across MultiPure, which is this filter here, or this is one of their many filters, right? So let me see. Hopefully this works. Hopefully it doesn't leak everywhere. Oh. So we're gonna let this, all right, put the filter inside. This is a carbon block filter, which I had to learn a lot about filtration as well, because there's so many different types of filters out there. Of course, you have your reverse osmosis systems, you have your pitcher filters, you have loose carbon, you have carbon block, you have activated charcoal, all these different kinds of things. And so trying to find a filter that works for people like me, I'm in an apartment right now. So I had to find a filter that's great for apartments, for people who are on city water. I had to find a filter that's good for those who are on well water. And I've been on a journey lately looking for that stuff. Is this going to come out? Let me see. There we go. Oh, all right. That's nasty. So this is all the loose charcoal that's in there. We got to let that run for about 30 minutes or so to get rid of all of the residual charcoal that's in there. So that's what we're doing there. But ultimately, was it 154? All right. So I feel the next thing to do, instead of just testing all these bottled waters, which I'm getting bored of doing, and I know people are still giving me like, oh, try this one, right? And oh, why not turn off that light? So I am getting bored of testing these waters, especially when they're all the same, especially when you know not to believe the marketing and you see that, oh, this is reverse osmosis. I have a pretty strong inclination of how it's going to turn out, right? So instead of constantly doing reviews and telling you what not to drink, I'm going to start sharing what you can drink. And the very beginning of this, outside of the masterclass, you can always go to the masterclass and you'll learn everything, right? But I'm going to start sharing two things. Three. One is I'm going to start making shorter versions of the reviews I've already done, because some people don't need to see a full 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right? Some people just need a few minutes to know the gist of it and then show them a solution, right? So that's the first thing coming up. Second thing is I'm going to talk about filtration. I'm going to get heavy on filtration. I'm going to talk about that filter, which is known as the Aquaperform. I'm going to talk about all the filters from MultiPure, because that's the company, as far as point of use, that I've been trying that is NSF certified, which means it's not just what's on their website. It's not just something they made up. It's actually certified to remove what they say they are going to remove. So I'm going to talk a lot about filtration, because I see right now in YouTube that people are asking a lot of questions about filtration. There's a lot of confusion and different things like that. So the second thing is I'm going to talk a lot about filtration. And then third, because I already talked about my electrolytes reduced water. I hint at that quite a bit, but I'm going to actually start sharing the studies and testimonials of people who have been on electrolytes reduced water and the results they've gotten. And I'm gonna pair that with the study. So it's gonna be a little educational. Oh, hey, did you know that this water, for example, if we talk about the vid, which is all I'm gonna say here, the vid, this water suppresses and neutralizes that. And I have the studies for that. And I've helped people who have had that, help them get rid of it. I've helped people who have had heart palpitations, tennis elbow, different arthritises, different things like that. And people don't know that because, for one, of course, we got Big Pharma out there. We can't necessarily share those kinds of things, right? This water doesn't cure, treat, prevent, all that type of stuff, right? Of course, they won't let you say any of that. However, my goal is to pair the study, break that down, kind of like I did a few studies a while ago, break down the studies that were involved with that, but then actually pair that with a story, a testimonial, someone's story that breaks down how electrolytes reduced water helped them with that same thing. So it's not just theory. It's not just, oh, that's just one study. But no, I'm going to actually pair it with someone who's been there, who's experienced that. All right. So I feel those are the main pieces of content I'm going to be sharing here in the next few months. And I'm going to keep trying out different things with my hair. I may start wearing different shirts. We'll see what happens, right? But ultimately, I really want to educate you guys. And at bare minimum, get you going with filters, right? Because one of the things I noticed, and actually I can kind of go back now, a lot of the bottled water companies, one, I had a cease and desist put on me. But the other thing is they've been shutting down. Like, when you know the truth and you start to spend elsewhere, you vote because you vote with your dollars. If you're not putting money towards these bottled water companies, they shut down. And then they have to do something else, right? Which is awesome. And the cool thing is you can filter your own water and not have to buy bottled water. So when an emergency situation comes up, heaven forbid, if an emergency situation came up, the last thing you need to do is run around and grab water because you have it at your home. Quality. So we'll be talking about filtration for point of use and whole house. I found whole home filtration. That's simply awesome. New technology. I'm looking forward to sharing that. Point of use, how they get these things set up. And then we're going to be talking about studies around electrolytes reduced water. I'm never going to stop talking about electrolytes reduced water, but we're going to do more of those studies and pair those with different testimonials and stories of people who have used this water to improve their life. Because ultimately, that's what I'm trying to do here. It's help you upgrade your water, upgrade your life, and actually save your wallet. I know it may not seem like it up front for those of you who have seen the masterclass. You're like, he's not trying to save my wallet. You're going to spend bottled water. You're going to be buying bottled water for 30 or 40 years. All right. Hopefully it's still going. So we're going to save your wallet, improve your health, be more efficient, and help you be ready to upgrade not only how you feel, how you look, all that stuff, energy-wise too. So that's what's coming up. I'm building the content now, getting acquainted to this new place I'm in, trying to figure out how I want to do these videos, where I want to do them at, all that type of stuff. But it's coming soon. If you have any questions or concerns or anything you want me to share, because I feel I haven't shared much about my life. I could do that if you guys want. Part of me wants to, part of me doesn't, right? Because I just never been one to share what's going on. And I don't really do a lot, to be honest. So I can give updates on that. I can probably go live every Saturday or so and just share what's going on with me personally. Which one of the biggest things is I'm out of the military. I am officially retired now. So that's what's up. But that's it. That's all I want to share with you guys. I'm going to let this filter flush out. And if you're tired of bottled water and you're ready to get on that filter game, because at bare minimum, filtration is the foundation. That's the very first thing that I recommend. From there, you'll save money. And you could possibly make money along the way, right? So that's all I want to share. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm not unalive. I'm fine. Had some challenges, but I'm good for the most part. And I'm just getting ready for the next season of content I'm going to make for you guys. All right? So stay tuned. Probably in about 2-3 weeks, you should see some new stuff, right? Stay blessed and have a great weekend.